Hey guys, welcome to the show. In this episode, we are doing another edition of the COG Handbook, and this time we are visiting the old classical workhorse of the COG Army. This time around, that mule kicking hits like a truck retro Lancer. So as we take a little bit of a look at a little bit of retro Lancer action here, let's go ahead and jump into the stats so we can get the dot breakdown of this thing and take a good look at it. Because as we can see, the range of the retro is, compared to the other rifles, well, the weakest, or the shortest, I guess is the proper way to say it. And that, if you've used that gun, or this gun, then you know that is about as accurate of a description of the range capabilities of the retros you can get, because you can't really get any serious range out of the gun for two reasons. One, the bullet spread when you're firing, which is represented by the way the reticule opens up when you lay in on that trigger, and two, the sheer kick of this gun is phenomenal. But the trade-off for this hard to handle beast of a gun is the damage, because like I said, this thing hits like a Mack truck. I mean, it will drop a guy quick in the right situation. So let's go ahead and get started with a breakdown of it, and we'll take a look at some different ranges and different ways to use it and some of the little added benefits of it, and see what we can come up with. So here we are on the old faithful dry dock at this by this time in our COG Handbook series. It's me and Junior again, back on the top run here at dry dock, doing some testing for the weapons. And I gotta say, the retro has some rather fun benefits to it, as we can see one Junior's displaying for us right here at the moment, and that's the retro charge. And I got to admit, when I first heard about the retro charge and everything that was going on with that, I thought it was going to be a gimmick, a little knockoff, nothing serious, not a really important part of gameplay. But the more, in beta, I used it a little bit, and I know some of the crew, like Junior, for instance, had a lot of fun with it in the beta. But now that, with the full game and the release weeks in now, closing in on a month, and for too long, I gotta say, the retro charge is fun. I like doing it, and I'm glad they put that in there. So right here we're looking at probably the optimal distance, right in that sweet spot of what you want to nail down with the retro, because at this range, the recoil and the bullet spread of the weapon doesn't play that much of a detrimental effect on what you're trying to do. I mean, you're still going to, you can see as I pull the trigger and we go into full auto mode, that reticle opens up and that bullet spread really gets out there. But at that range, you're still landing most, if not all, of your bullets on target, unless you're trying to go for a headshot, which is useless because there's no headshot multiplier on the retro. It's just straight up beast mode. It doesn't matter where you hit them as long as you hit them. And when you're up close like this, like I said, you're in that optimal range, and you can usually put quite a few bullets on target. And right here I'm just kind of demonstrating what you would want to, how that thing's going to act if you're trying to shoot something down at that kind of range at the other end of the catwalk. And we're going to get a few samples of that here in just a few minutes as I scoot Junior back to do our close, mid, and long range sampling. But there's a few other topics I want to hit on first, one of which was was that right there. I kind of done that kind of quick and without notice, so I'm going to do it again as we watch Junior do it. That's just pulling the trigger with no stick adjustments. And what you get is enough kick to put your gun straight into the sky long before your clip's ever finished with. So you're definitely going to want to get into the habit of stick adjustment with this gun. And once again, like I mentioned in the Hammerburst video, the higher sensitivities kind of helps you out with that, because it gives you a better ability to compensate for that recoil. In my opinion, I'm a high sensitivity runner. I like that. It seems to work well for me. And the retro, I mean, the retro kicks like a beast, man. So you got to seriously compensate for that thing if you're going to go full auto with it, even at close range. If you're hip firing with it, it's almost impossible to stay on target, even fighting it with the stick, because it's just so crazy. And that's the major change they made from this gun from beta to release was the hip fire. During beta, if any of you guys played it, the hip fire on the retro was pretty much the same as aim down sights as far as the way the weapon acted. So for the most part, there was no use to aim down sights. I mean, it was just as good, if not better, to hip fire the gun than it was to aim it. So they went in and they put enough kick in there to to realign the frame on a freaking truck, and so now hip firing that gun is, it's possible. You can do it. It's really good last ditch kind of effort when the guy's just so in your face with a shotgun or something. I mean, it will work. It will save your ass at times, but you really got to be on the stick fighting that thing and trying to maintain control of it, because it is just so crazy. And you still got a decent amount of kick with this gun, even when you're aiming down sights, but it's nowhere near as much as when you're hip firing. The aim down sights will definitely crawl, and you gotta fight the stick. But yeah, I mean, just grab a hold of the gun and try the two out, and just fire off one clip, aim down sights, no stick adjustments, then fire off another clip, hip fire with no stick adjustments, and you'll see the difference. I mean, it's a magnitude of difference. So that's definitely something to keep in mind for this gun. Is it's there for you, but you're gonna have to tame it, man. You gotta ride the sticks to keep it under control. Now right here we're getting some good sampling of mid-range, and while we're doing this, I want to go ahead and talk about the bullets on target for this gun. So you got to have standard rounds. It takes six bullets to down a guy. Actives, it will take you five bullets to down a guy at active. Not much. Gun, like I said, it hits like a freaking truck, man. Especially the actives. So if you're up close where you can just go full auto and minimal stick adjustments to stay on target, man, this gun will it is a source of frustration. Let's just put it that way for players that are going up against it, because it is beast. In the right hands. I mean, you really got to practice with it, and that's the key with this gun. Practice. You have to practice maintaining that control on it. So 6 rounds normal, 5 rounds active to down a guy. You got 180 rounds out of the barrel, or out of the gate, I guess I should say, when you start, and you got a 30 round clip. So ammo can quickly become a problem. As we see right here, I'm demonstrating the kick with the aim down sights kick, and then here is aim down sights with a little bit of stick control to keep it somewhat on target. I mean, you can't really do a whole lot of keeping on target with this, but you can keep it somewhat on target. But like I said, ammo can become a real issue with this gun. So anytime, anywhere you come across a little bit of extra ammo on the ground, pick it up whether you need it at the time or not, because chances are you will sooner or later, because this gun will flat out burn through some ammo, particularly if you're trying to do mid-range to maybe even long-range engagements where you're feathering the trigger, trying to keep it tame, or fighting those sticks. I mean, you're going to get a lot of bullets that don't hit target, so you're going to shoot a lot more to put a guy down. Thus, you're going to burn through a lot more ammo. Right here, I was trying to Junior, I think, was on the phone. I was trying to get him to back up to the other end of the the other end of the lane there, so we could do our long range samples. And I think he's setting me up. I knew that was going to happen sooner or later with him. So I finally got him to back up, and as you can see here, I mean, look at that in the relationship to the size of your target to the way the reticle opens up and your ammo and your bullet spread at that distance. I even had Junior fire back at me in the same principles, so you can see from the receiving end just how much bullet spread's going on with that. I mean, watch. I mean, you can see the tracers on the bullets. I mean, they're everywhere. So definitely at that range, you're going to want to be feathering the trigger, tap, 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 and fighting that stick and trying to keep it on target. You know, even at the best you can do. I mean, you can do it. You can down a guy. That's for sure. It can be done with this gun. But you know, it takes some skill. It takes some skill, some familiarity. I can't hardly say that word with the weapon. So yeah, like again, practice, because that is definitely the key with the retro. You're going to want to get used to how much stick adjustment you need and how your timing on your feathering of the trigger for different engagements and stuff. So, you know, that's the retro. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'm going to leave you with a little bit of retro goodness. We'll catch you in the next episode. Later, guys.